Hello and welcome back to Telecom Training. Today we're going to talk about the Sigma all-band 160 to 6 monopole antenna. Some of my viewers use this antenna and they are experiencing issues, so I promised to look into it. This monopole antenna works from 1.8 MHz all the way to 50 MHz, or from the 160 meter band to the 6 meter band. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about the amateur radio bands from 160 meters at 1.8 megahertz down to 6 meters at 50 megahertz. Most of these frequencies use the ionosphere to travel long distances. Signals go up, bend in the ionosphere, and return to Earth. The monopole antenna is preferred by many ham radio operators because it is simpler to set up with a good ground system, and it can produce excellent low-angle radiation, making it effective for long-distance communication. Now let's look at the 6 to 160 monopole antenna. This antenna covers a wide range of frequencies, from the 6 meter band around 50 megahertz all the way to the 160 meter band around 1.8 megahertz. That's a huge range, from high frequency to much lower frequencies. So how can one antenna work across all of that? Let's break it down. Ideally, a monopole is a quarter wavelength, but that length really only works for one frequency, which in this case is 14 megahertz for the 6 meter long antenna, which is being sold as an antenna being able to transmit and receive from the 160 meter band to the 6 meter band. With the correct physical length being 5.5 meters or about 18 feet, the closest resonant frequency is 14 megahertz, which is on the 20 meter band. Everything else is either too long or too short. A commonly used antenna in this category is the Sigma SEHF 360 XP. And here's the part most people don't realize. This antenna is only naturally close to one band, and that is the 20 meter band, because 20 meters is much closer to this antenna's resonance. So to make a monopole antenna work across a wide range from 160 meters to 6 meters, be sure to use a UNUN and an ATU. A UNUN is an impedance transformer used between two unbalanced systems. It's similar to a balun, which many people are familiar with, but there's an important difference. A balun is used to connect a balanced antenna like a dipole to an unbalanced feed line like coax. A UNUN, on the other hand, is used when both sides are unbalanced, like a monopole antenna connecting to a coaxial cable. Now the ATU works with the UNUN. It uses coils or inductors and capacitors to fine-tune the impedance to 50 ohms to match the radio. Just remember, the UNUN brings impedance closer. The ATU fine-tune the match to 50 ohms. The ATU is also referred to as a tuner. Now, an ATU makes the radio happy by presenting a good 50 ohm match, helping protect it from high SWR, but it does not fix an inefficient antenna. So what does that mean in real life? Your antenna can only resonate at one frequency. So SWR is low at your resonant frequency. But whenever you tune to a frequency that is not the resonant frequency, there will be high SWR coming from the antenna. The tuner's job is to protect your radio. The tuner doesn't remove SWR, it just prevents it from reaching the radio by creating a proper impedance match at the radio. The 6-to-160 is a compromise antenna. It performs best on higher bands like 20 meters, and efficiency decreases as you move to lower frequencies. With a good tuner, a proper ground system, and realistic expectations, it can still be a very effective antenna. Now, what can you do to make this antenna work for you? It will not perform equally on all bands. It will work best on the 20-meter band, possibly 10 and 15-meter band. It will be weakest on 80 meters and especially 160 meters. It is important to keep your antenna clear of objects. Raise it if possible. Reduce any nearby metal interference. Add as many radials as possible. Even a few radials gives improvement. The more radials, the higher the gain. It is important that you use an ATU properly. It is required for multi-band use. Tune each band. Get SWR acceptable. The ATU, which is also called a tuner, makes the signal usable, not optimal. Choose the right bands. Focus on 20 meters, best performance, 40 meters, is usable, 80 meters, limited, and 160 meters would be very weak. Now, what tuning each band actually means? You are adjusting the ATU, which is also called antenna tuner, so that the radio sees 50 ohms, low SWR on each frequency you operate. You must tune one frequency at a time. To tune the line, we are going to do it step by step. Step 1, before tuning, set your radio to low power, around 5 to 10 watts. This is very important. Keeping the power low protects your equipment while you make adjustments and prevent potential damage during the tuning process. Now, step 2, select your band and frequency. Tune one frequency at a time. For example, 14.2 megahertz on 20 meter band. Step 3, key the radio briefly. Use tune mode or key the mic. Send a steady carrier. Step 4, adjust the tuner. For a manual tuner, adjust inductor or coil. Adjust capacitors. Watch the SWR meter. The goal is to get the lowest SWR possible, ideally 1.5 to 1. Now, if you have an automatic tuner, press the tune button. It will click relays and automatically find the best match. Step 5. Once SWR is low, return to normal operating power. Understand the limitations. Lower bands are harder. 80 meters may tune but less effective. 160 meters often very inefficient. You may need a different antenna for best performance on these bands. Finally, many people assume that the UNUN does everything a balun does, but what the UNUN doesn't do is suppress common mode current, so you need to add a balun for that purpose. Even if your antenna is matched using the UNUN and tuner, RF can still travel on the outside of your coax, so adding a one-to-one balun helps keep the antenna system working properly. This is Trevor from Telecom Training. If this video was helpful and you would like to see more videos like this one, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.